Been with Generation Justice for about 4 years, and it's really been a really constructive part of my education throughout high school. I attended the 2013 Media Reform Conference in Denver, Colorado. While I was at the conference, I interviewed Todd Evoyle.
I'd say that media reform is about making broader progressive reforms possible, so that to get the change that we need in other areas, be it the economy, be it healthcare, be it education, we need a fair hearing. And so we need to make sure we have a media that allows us to get a real fair hearing so that we can address the issues we need to.
Sach Ali.
Media reform means really trying to put the storytelling practices of the society under review and ask who gets to tell the stories. And whether the stories are being told in the most democratic way that reflect the interests of the vast majority of the people.
Former FCC Commissioner Michael Copps.
Media reform is to work our way towards media that's of, by, and for the American people. Media that is local rather than all of these huge conglomerates we have now that have gobbled up so many local and independent stations. Media that has some public interest obligations and guidelines, which it had for years and years, but a lot of that has been deregulated away so that they really are covering local affairs, they are covering minority and diversity communities, and they are doing their job of informing the American people.
Norman Solomon.
Human body doesn't have a free circulation inside the body, then we have blockage, we might have a coronary. It's not healthy for the human body to lack ongoing circulation. The body politic in many ways is very similar. If we don't have the free circulation of ideas, information, and debate in our country, then we're going to have blockage. And we really do. I mean, let's face it.
Jeff Cohen.
Media reform seeks to give voice to different groups, minority groups, women, labor, and make sure that the voice that dominates society isn't the corporate voice.
And Stephen Rendetos.
Media reform is this idea that media should play a purpose in our society to help to increase democracy, to increase civic participation, that it should be a tool that informs people so that we can make the best educated guess as a society for the major decisions that we need to make as a society, right?
I was really inspired just seeing all of these different people and seeing how many different paths of life there can be. But what brought them all together is that they all wanted media reform. I heard this panel that I really, really loved, and it was called Beyond Marriage Equality. And it was really about intersectionality within activism and learning. And this is really important to me because I've always been really interested in different social issues. As a woman of color, a young woman of color, there's a lot of issues that are important to me just because of my background. But I learned through Generation Justice, and it got even more, I learned way more about it at the conference, that you can't just learn about something and care so much about one social justice issue and ignore the other ones. I didn't really realize how central Generation Justice is to media reform. It is media reform. It gives people who never have a voice a voice. While I was at the conference, I really thought a lot about what I want my future to be and what I want to do with my life. I was supposed to make the decision for where I was going to go to college during the days that I was actually at the conference. And I had to write the director of this journalism program in Ithaca College by Monday.
How do you get young people active about producing different kinds of media, giving different voices the microphone? How do you do that? And that's what we're about at Ithaca College.
Ithaca College is in upstate New York. It is completely different from anything I've ever experienced. I was born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And the other school that I was looking at was actually my top school, and it was in Southern California. And that school sounded perfect for me in a lot of ways. had really awesome weather. I never wear shoes, so it was like really great for me. And also it's really open-minded. It had progressive values, and it had a lot of people of color, which is important for me because I've always lived in a community of people of color. Part of my fear was just becoming the token brown girl who got accepted to this program, and I would be the only person of color at this program. One of the only girls of color at the entire communications school, and one out of a handful of people of color in the entire university. I talked to someone named Hakeem Bellamy who was telling me about his experience, and something he said that really surprised me was that he said, yeah, you are going to be the token, and sometimes that's okay, and sometimes that'll make you really grow and learn. I think that it'll be a really, really growing experience for me, but at the same time, like, I really like taking risks. I love learning, and I don't want to not do something because I'm afraid of being alienated. I chose Ithaca, and this program that I'm going to go into is a communications program. I understand the issues with our media, and I understand the importance of our media, the importance of making media, creation, the importance of fair media, and in a way I think it would be kind of wrong of me to like have this wealth of knowledge and not give back in any way. I realize that that's something I'm good at, and that's something I really enjoy doing, and so I really want to go further and learn more about it, and I really want to make a difference. I'm like brown, I'm a woman, I'm queer, I'm like just all of these different things that have usually in the past just like made it so I'm a marginalized person, but with Generation Justice I have a voice, and I can say whatever I want, and I can talk about my own experience. I really like appreciated just learning meeting so many new people and learning about what they do, because it really like affected my decision, and I am really grateful for Generation Justice.